Hello darlings, so here I am. I just thought that we have got to talk again, so I'm trying to put my thoughts, my focus into this, and I'm going to take you on the journey with me, because we have just gone through this 6 months of St. John, of the Hierophant, the 6 months of St. John the Baptist, and we're talking about the 3 days of darkness, and we're going to try and find these 3 days of darkness, and I think that we have a few possible choices of when it could be. So where is the 3 days of darkness in the Bible? The idea of 3 days of darkness is not unique. In fact, it gets its origin from Exodus 22. So this is Catch 22, this is V for victory, this is the Aleph Tav, and we're at 2020, and we know that we're here. So, and the Lord said to Moses, stretch out thy hand towards heaven, and may there be darkness upon the land of Egypt. So this is Taurus, so thick that it may be felt. And Moses stretched forth his hands towards heaven, and there came horrible darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. Another verse that seems to refer to a time of darkness is Ezekiel 34, 11, 12. So this is the great wheels of fire, Ezekiel, that I've spoken so much about, wheels within wheels. This is the fixed cross, spin. For thus saith the Lord God, behold, I myself will seek my sheep, and will visit them, as the shepherd visiteth his flock in the day when he shall be in the midst of his sheep that were scattered. So I will visit my sheep, and will deliver them out of all the places where they have been, scattered in the cloudy and dark day. Well, this is what we're going to be looking at on Stellarium, because we're going to be looking at the sheepfold, and these are the different, always for the times of the changing of the ages, we have another shepherd and another sheepfold. The above quote doesn't mention the number of days, but it gives reassurance that his sheep will have safety during a time of darkness. Whether that refers to the 3 days of darkness or not, it is debatable. So throughout history, various seers and even saints have alluded to a coming terrifying chastisement that would last for 3 days. Mary Julie Janney, born in 1850 in France, was a third order Franciscan mystic who also had visions about the 3 days of darkness. This concept of chastisement through darkness returned in a big way during the last part of the 18th century. So this is all the Theosophical Society, the Victorian Society, and the preparation of the trap, the Netflix, to catch the fish, to catch us coming out of the age of Pisces. And, you know, this is so the time of the French Revolution, and these are the dates we're going to be looking at, from 7/11, we looked at the last video, to 7/14, which is the Bastille Day, which is the fireworks day, which is the set-off of, you know, the panic that this will cause people because they're not told. So, you know, literally the Bastille Day for the past 200 years has just been a ritual for this 3 days of darkness. And then through the 19th century, when a flurry of mystics, including luminaries such as Blessed Anna Maria Taigi, foresaw a time of extraordinary blackness. Although they stated out as relatively mild, at La Salette, an unapproved part of a prophecy called for 3 days of convulsions. Such predictions gained momentum through the decades as mystics added their own, often sensational details. It would be a worldwide chastisement, claimed Marie Julie Janney of Coyote, France. Day would be as night, they warned. Night would be like a coal mine. The darkness would be almost palpable, claimed Janney, who was born in 1850, according to one website. The 3 days of darkness will be on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, days of the Most Holy Sacrament of the Cross and Our Lady, 3 days less 1 night. Okay, so the earth will be covered in darkness. She quoted the Virgin Mary as saying on 20th of September 1882, and hell will be loosed on earth. Thunder and lightning will cause those who have no faith or trust in my power to die of fear. During these 3 days of terrifying darkness, no windows must be opened because no one will be able to see the earth and the terrible colour it will have in those days of punishment without dying at once. The sky will be on fire, the earth will split. During these 3 days of darkness, let the blessed candle be lightened everywhere, no other light will shine. No one outside a shelter will survive. The earth will shake as at the judgment, and fear will be great. Yes, we will listen to the prayers of your friends. Not one will perish. We will need them to publish the glory of the cross. So it seems like it's a preparation to throw us into the trap, and those of us who know what are happening and we're authentically in our heart center will, this could be the JL cut. It's JL, Jennifer Lopez, Jacob's Ladder, the tongue, the snake's tongue in the head of the snake. It's called, the tongue is the Jacob's Ladder. It's the fork, it's the crossroads, it's the Carrefour, it's the split, it's the Moses split of the Red Sea. And this is going to be bringing us to Merlin and the Hierophant. So during the night should remain in their homes. And there are so many of these wicked men, so you can read this. But what's interesting is what I'm picking up 14th. So let's have a look here. So let's go to now. So yesterday, for the Feast of St. John, so we've got John the Baptist, we've got in England this fake king, Mr. Tumnus from Narnia, appearing all over the Truth or Bullshit YouTube, talking about this St. John. So John the Baptist brought us, brought us to Jesus. So this is this gap. We're in the gap, and this is the St. John Hierophant. This is the Hierophant. This is Taurus. Taurus represents Egypt, Cairo, and this is the Hierophant, Merlin. And we've just had the eclipse here, and we've just had, as always, I could have spent hours more. So we're going to be looking at, this is the Hierophant. I've got open here. Yeah, I could spend hours going, yeah, this is the date, this is the 14th, yeah, it's all pretty incredible. This is the 11th, 7/11, but I want to show you, let's go to John the Baptist. No, actually, right, so this was announced the day before, or 2 days before the eclipse. So we've got 88 here, 88 constellations. HH is the hunting horn, the 2 horns of Taurus, and Venus is coming up to her 2nd hunting horn. So we're going to be looking at that. And 88 is also the lion gates. And this guy is what I've written here, is playing the part, you know, of between Cancer in Tarot is the charioteer, chariots of fire, and this is from the original Milky Way Solstice to this now, it's on Gemini, the Solstice. So yeah, I'll go that slowly. You can read through that. Okay, so this is the Hierophant. Symbolizes also all things that are righteous and sacred on the manifest side. As such, he is the channel of grace, belonging to the world of institution as distinct from that of nature. And he is the leader of salvation for the human race at large. He is the order and the head of the recognized hierarchy. which is the reflection of another and greater hierarchic order. But it may so happen that the pontiff forgets the significance of his symbolic state and acts as if he contained within his proper measures all that his sign signifies or his symbol seeks to shew forth. He is not, as it has been thought, philosophy except on the theological side. He is not inspiration, and his is not religion. Yeah, better and shorter than taking you through all that. You can always go to my page, Petronelle de Papillon. I tried to put the most important points there. So the task of the high priest. So again, this is everything. Taurus is St. George. It's also St. Martin, the whole free Martin. It's all this twinning, and Taurus is going to be merging with Aries, and that will be the black earth with yellow fire, Aries. And so they want to create this charioteer and this hierophant on each side of the Milky Way, which is going to be closing in. So is the meditation between the ever-changing world of busy life and eternal truth. Seeking the truth and hidden signs, he shows the way of consciousness. If you are guided by the hierophant, you may entirely rely on yourself in your decisions, your own truth and knowledge already. Find them within yourself. Calm your mind and your emotions. Meditation is the key to truthful awareness. So this is the true energy that we should be coming into, because this period between now and which has been set off from this eclipse, which the day after the 23rd, so the eclipse was on the 21st, and then on the 23rd of June is the eve of celebration before the feast day of St. John the Baptist. The Gospel of Luke states that John was born 6 months before Jesus. So they're bringing in Lucifer, remember, because we're leaving the age of Pisces, Jesus, and we're going into Aquarius. So they want to bring the rising of the AntiChrist, of their New Age cage, and this is the connection with this new John that is being harked as the original king of England. And that will certainly get bigger over the next 6 months. So therefore the feast of John the Baptist was fixed on the 24th of June. Yesterday Mars went into Pisces. Aries wants to take over Taurus. This is the yellow-black bee. This is the 13th sign. This is Hercules. We're going to have on the 14th the sun on Pollux. Pollux and Castor were Apollo and Hercules on the Roman calendar. So, and this is all to do with this 6 months between the solstice. So we're bang on this journey between the eclipse that we've just had on the 21st, and we're heading towards Christmas, the shortest night of the year, where we have the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. Jupiter, ruler of Pisces, and the beginning of this wheel, Sagittarius. So the two pillars, the two sides of the pillars, Mars, Jupiter and the Sun, rule the fire pillar of severity and the mercy pillar of the lunar mercy pillar. They each have a planet on each side, and that is the sultans of swing. This is the tempest, where they're heating our temperatures to swing us from right to left, and we're going to have a look at Stellarium. We're going to see how this is being done. According to the old Roman calculation, this feast day is one of the very few saints' days which commemorates the anniversary of the birth rather than the death of the saint being honoured. The feast of St. John closely coincides with the June solstice, also referred to as MidSummer in the Northern Hemisphere. The Christian holy day is fixed at 24th of June, but in most countries festivities are mostly held the night before on St. John's Eve. This holiday is celebrated in many places. So this is exactly what's going on. This is the whole journey. By the 6th was completed by balancing Christ's conception and birth against the conception and birth of his cousin John the Baptist. Such a relationship between Christ and his cousin was amply justified by the imagery of Scripture. This is Pete and Paul. This is Sagittarius and Jupiter. This is the two sides of bringing us into the kingdom of black Capricorn and Earth and red air Aquarius. And they want Taurus. They want Taurus. This is going to be the bottom of the solstice now. Sometimes in my videos, I always make mistakes. I'm very Pisces 12th house, and I kick myself afterwards, but I'm so used to it that I don't beat myself up too much. So this, the new Twin Peaks that we're going into, the St. George's Maltese Cross, is going to be Taurus. At the bottom, the icy Aries with Taurus. So yellow fire, black earth. And this eclipse was on the wand of Merlin. A Merlin in French is a raven, a black raven. And the story of the crow and the fox is the famous where we're going on the 21st of the 12th, opposite the other side of this 6 months, which is the meeting of Saturn and Jupiter, the crow and the fox. So the raven, Merlin is the raven in French. This is all them trying to take us, keep us stuck in the gap, mind the gap. Okay, so we're back today. Right, so yesterday, Mars entered Pisces, okay, in Aries on the 24th, the entities. Just is still in Aquarius. 24th, he's in Pisces. So this is Mars, and he is going to be here. Ra, they're Baphomet, fake. You know, they give us Satan and Lucifer, but it's basically Mars and Jupiter, rulers of the two north-south pillars, trying to stop us coming back to the middle path. That all-seeing eye, if you become the observer, is not Lucifer, but it's the Venus of Libra. We have Taurus, Libra at the bottom, because at the top we're going to have, for the new solstice, we're going to have Scorpio and Libra, and at the bottom we're going to have Taurus and Aries. So the middle pillar and the G-spot of the Masonic compass is Saturn. Saturn that rules Capricorn and Aquarius. So we're coming through this gap, and they've planned for the new bottom of the solstice. The feet is going to be fire ruled, Aries ruled by Mars. And at the top, we're going to have Scorpio and Libra ruled by Mars and Venus. Aries ruled by Mars and Venus. So Venus is also on that middle pillar, and they have turned her into Lucifer. Let me show you the pillar. Okay, so here we've got the solar and the lunar pillar. So we've had the 5 ages, or we can be the other way around. So we've had the 5 ages of solar, we're finishing the 5 ages of lunar. Jupiter began here with Sagittarius, fire. Then we had Babylon, Leo, the sun, and Aries, the age of Moses, also fire. So that's Mars. So we've got the sun, Jupiter, Mars, and then here we've then had the moon, Cancer. So Cancer here, that's ruled by the moon. Jupiter was Mars, Scorpio. That was the falling of the wisdom, the separation of the Garden of Eden. And we're coming out now of Pisces, ruled by Jupiter as well. So Jupiter and Mars are ruling each side of the severity, solar and the lunar grace. And we want to merge grace and severity to find equivalent exchange. So this is the merging of the Milky Way. Rahu and Ketu, north and south node, are the hypothetical points of the sun and the moon's path, the points where they cross on the ecliptic. This is Venus in Libra. This is now going to become the top, because Libra and Scorpio merge back at the top as one. So Libra ruled by Venus and Scorpio ruled by Mars. So Mars wants to take over here, but at the bottom we're going to have Taurus and Aries. So Aries again ruled by Mars, yellow fire, and Taurus, black earth. But this pillar is normally just Venus and Saturn and Mercury. So on each side we have red, black. We've got Gemini, red air, Virgo, black earth. And we should be merging now in the middle in the G-spot of, again, red air, Aquarius, and black earth, Capricorn, ruled by the G-spot, Saturn. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, seven chakras. This is the G, 7. And this is the all-seeing eye that they've turned into Lucifer, which is just Libra, high cardinal air, when you have got bitten by the snake. So you have gone and found the wisdom that was lost. Okay? So these guys are going to be the top. So Mars rules Scorpio, Venus rules Libra, and Mars rules Aries, and Venus rules Taurus. Feminine, masculine, but they want Venus here to take over as masculine, taking over feminine Scorpio, and at the bottom they want Taurus to be taken over by Ra, Mars. So you see how important this entry is of Mars for 6 months, with a retrograde setting off on 9/9, and we're going to go through this now. This is this period of St. John. This is the 6 months. You see, was born 6 months before Jesus. So this is the 6 months build up to bringing Lucifer in. St. John's fire with festivities in front of the Christian cavalry shone in Britain. Eve of the feast of the beast of St. John the Baptist. Yeah, okay. The wealthier sought also before their doors near to the said bonfires. So this is Bastille Day on the 14th. The bonfires. This is St. John. This is St. John's Eve is St. John's for the bonfires. So this is interesting because Guy Fawkes night is exactly opposite Taurus, Scorpio. So again, all these rituals, and Burning Man in Las Vegas is that rising of the Christ oil. This is the last 6 months. This is this last mutable energy that I talk about in my last video for you to pop your third eye, and we're being artificially popped. So some of you will fall into fear when this should be a beautiful journey of you being safely in your heart. That's what Venus is all about. Okay, I'm sure there's loads of stuff here, but let's go and see how this is happening. So Mars has just entered on the 24th. So at the same time, we have news out yesterday about Loch Ness being seen, because this is Leviathan, I always pronounce these. This is the beast, this is the Prince of Wales, this is Charles de Gaulle. At the same time, in the news in France, where I live, in Auch, where it's the capital of the 32. So that's something we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at when the sun, when the moon is on that 32, 33 degree here of the original equinox of Moses, the splitting of the sea. So I live in 32, the state of grace. This is the lunar pillar, grace, before 33 crucifixion. They had saying that, you know, the home of D'Artagnan, everything I explained to you, because D'Artagnan is the fourth musketeer, and they want him to take over from Fomalhaut. Fomalhaut is the North Star. It's that fourth fixed star, the true thalamus, the lamb, opposite the lion gates of Regulus, Babylon. So this is the merging of Babylon and Egypt. So Egypt here. So we've got Venus now beginning to go. She's still going backwards. Yep. No, she's going forward. She's going forward now. She's been going forwards since us. So let's just go back over her journey. So we were let out on the 5th of the 11th, and that's when she started to go backwards. So these are the HH hunting horns. HH, the French hunting horn, represents the labyrinth in the middle. That's the heart. It's the Aldebaran. It's the heart frequency. So Aldebaran, Taurus, is the Hierophant. Okay, so we're now here. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I've just been interrupted. It's difficult for me. Today I had a mix-up with the time with a lovely subscriber. So that's why I've got the energy and the time to do this video, because I'm loving doing all your videos, but I don't have time to go off into my world and to make videos for you guys. So that's why I'm just taking this opportunity today. So let's carry on. We're watching Venus doing her hunting horns, 88. So Mars is in Pisces. This is going, so Mars is that fire in water. This is the home of Jupiter, and this is, you know, the 6 months, to have Mars here for that 6 months, and it goes right up until the 5th of the 1st, 2021, I think it is, with a retrograde. This is all about bringing up the Loch Ness Monster. That's why they're talking about it in the news. This is Moby Dick. This is bringing up the unconscious collective fear to then present you Lucifer. So there it goes. So we come up to our dates. So I was talking to my friend Lars and mentioned to him this morning that I'm thinking about when this 3 days of dark will be, and he sent me and said the moon's going through from the 7th of the 11th. So this could be the starting date, and as we just saw, those 3 days of the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anyway, we've got a few dates that we're looking at, but the 11th is definitely a Saturday. So let's just move that moon forward through these dates. So then we're going to have, on the 11th, this great conjunction. So Pisces is the dark, it's the invisible, it's everything we fear, it's the unknown, it's the sleeping beauty forest that the prince has to get through to kiss his twin flame, sleeping beauty. And the wicked witch, with her spinning wheel, is Eris, and we'll be having a look to see where Eris is. And Eris is the European, the one who rides in on the bull for the European flag with the 13 corona couronne around her, which is this fake hero which they've taken from Hercules and made into Ophiuchus, which is the bee, and the bee is the yellow-black that they, you know, that they want to put at the top of the wheel by putting, they want to put Sagittarius and Capricorn as yellow and black. So This is fire, Sagittarius, yellow and black, Capricorn, when we're coming to this red, black here. Okay, so on this day, we're going to have Venus right on Aldebaran, which is the Hierophant. Okay, and I've got some more stuff here on the Hierophants. Right, okay, so let's just see this Hierophant. Is it here? No. I've got two of those opened here. This one, okay. So we're at the last Solstice 6-month passage of this 360 wheel, Akka 3639, 369, blah, blah, blah. So there are 12 seasons and 36 deacons. You have to find the middle path through. Today is St. John's Day, the Lord of the Rings eclipse was on the Magician's wand. The fake Lord is offering you two choices, two pillars, two pills, red, blue, and you have to get through them to merge the pillars of the sun severity and the moon grace and become the fourth leg, Pisces, past the Joker, to take off the lie we live in and your persona off and find the real raw you under the mask. That's why the fake Narnia king to shortly be presented to England as your fake hero is John the Baptist or King John in Robin Hood. The Hierophant is being played by Trump. He knows that this is the time your judgment will decipher your path and no one can take your free will from you, but you have to discern from the jokers now. St. John's Eve starting at sunset, and this is what we've just seen. So this is someone writing about, and here is the Hierophants. So you can see this is the same. This is Saint Martin. This is him talking about the great conjunction coming up. So it's the same symbol that you see as the Baphomet. So the Hierophant wants to become Taurus, wants to be this this fake king. So we've got the cross here. This is the skull and bone cross. This is, and the V is the 5. It's the 5th element taking over. It's the 5-pointed star. It's the journey of Venus in her retrogrades. Every 8 years, she makes a 5-petaled flower. So, and this is this fake king. So you see again, it's a little bit like Moses. So they're telling us it's Taurus, but Moses separated the sea. This is the equinox. This is the Milky Way. Here we've got the two pillars, and he's putting himself as the king in the middle. And there you see in the middle of the deck, as we see Ophiuchus trying to play the 13th sign, when the 13th sign is Earth. It's her, it's the eye of the beholder. It's when you are able to observe this Dante divine comedy. That's why the Loch Ness monster story was just brought out by a guy called Danny, because it's the tribe of Dan. We're at the last judgment. So let's come back here. So at 7/11, we're going to have the moon. The moon has 8 phases, and it goes through, every phase is 2.3 days, and this is the time that the moon is going through the darkness of the unknown, starting with that conjunction. And at the same time, we're going to have Mercury. Where is Mercury? Mercury is coming up the 14th. So we're going to have the sun on Pollux. So here's Pollux and Castor, Gemini. This is the new Solstice. And here we've got Merlin playing the roles of the two pillars, the solar and the lunar pillar. And Egypt, the Hierophant, Aldebaran. And it is also, I'll show you the Milky Way again. So here's the Milky Way, and we've got on each side Aldebaran and Pollux. So this is trying to keep us, keeping the Milky Way separated. So at the same time, we've got Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto going backwards on the other tip of the Milky Way. And here we've got Venus just beginning to move forward, and Mercury will just be coming out of retrogrades. So let's just see Mercury. Let's just go back. So yeah, so we've had the eclipse and Mercury. Let's go back so we see. So Mercury was moving forward, then Mercury goes back on the 14th. So 3 weeks, 21 days. And for the 11th, he's going to start going forward at the end of these 3 days. So as he's going backwards, finishing, Venus is going forward, and she's moving on to the second HH of the two hunting horns here. Right, so let's see the 14th. This is Bastille Day. This is the day of liberation. This is your swingers, the liberty swingers. That's why they call those people that have no commitment, and they have no commitment to their partners. They swing from partner to partner. They are libertarians. This is the Statue of Liberty. This is the liberation. So this is their planning to bring Lucifer as the fake liberator of the Bastille Day. So do I have Bastille open? So Bastille Day fireworks, and we've got this pillar, the middle pillar, that they want to take over. So the same thing as the Twin Towers being merged into one. And what's it called? It's called the Freedom. It's called the Freedom Tower, the Liberation. So each year, Bastille Day, the 14th of July, is celebrated with gusto in Paris. The crowds gather under the Eiffel Tower and on the Champ de Mars. So again, this is Mars going through Pisces to watch the spectacular firework display. Well, can you imagine when everyone's locked in dark and people are panicking? The Trocadero is another favourite spot for spectators with the view from across the river. So the river that's why the Notre Dame is on the Seine. The Seine, it's on an island. It's on the eye of the beast, and this is the beast of Leviathan. And on the 14th, we're going to have, this is what I meant. So we're going to have, let's put it on the beast of Mars, the eye of the equinox, Passover. That's at 33 exactly. So we're going to have on the 14th here, Venus bang on Aldebaran. This is massive. Right on Capella, the end of the Milky Way. We're going to have the Sun on Pollux, which is, this is Hercules and Apollo. So Hercules and Apollo. Okay, so fixed star Pollux is of the nature of Mars, violent death, ultimate ruin by folly or pride. It gives a subtle, crafty, spirited, brave, audacious, cruel and rash nature, a love of boxing, dignified malevolence, and is connected with poisons. Well, this is Mars in Pisces. Pisces is poison. It's coronavirus. It's the Corona Victor, end of the age axis that we are leaving. Mary Magdalene, Jesus, poison, poisson in French. Poisson is fish. It represents Pollux, the immortal one of the twins, famous for his skill in boxing, sometimes called Hercules, and symbolically named a heartless judge. Okay, so the Hierophant is meant to be the judge. The Hierophant, the father as lawgiver. This is a difficult card relating to a Gnostic concept of demiurge, which supposes that the illusions of the material condition are created not by a supreme deity, God, the Father, but by a lesser creator, who erroneously believes himself to be supreme. The crossed bands on his breast were, until recently, a sign of the Catholic priest's obedience to higher church authority. So this is the skull and bone cross that we see on, which has been inverted, which Saint Martin de Tours, Taurus, Tours. In the Jungian tarot card, the Hierophant is seated on a throne and is crowned with the triple tiara of a pope, as has become traditional. The Hierophant has often been related to the formal, i.e. restrictive practices and authority of organised religion, laws, that are often more arbitrary and culturally determined than they are representative of universal truths. So this is really, are you fixed in the Taurus belief, fixed earth, or, you know, I always say to people with a lot of Taurus, you have to go through your material worth until you can find your spiritual worth, and that is the release of the true powers of nature. That is the original black magic woman. That are often more arbitrary and culturally determined than that are representative of universal truths. He is one who demands attention and respect, and who makes pronouncements with the absolute assurance that they are correct. In the Hierophant's right hand, which is what everyone's doing at the moment, we all think we're right, we all think we know, and this is the clash of the titans. He is one who demands attention and respect, and who makes pronouncements with the absolute assurance that they are correct. In the Hierophant's right hand is a small figure representing original man, the lover. Well, that is Gemini, the twins. This is the potentially perfected self which will evolve within the restrictions of the earth, a condition created by the Hierophant. You see, they make the twins masculine, Romanus and Remus, the wolf twins, when they are male and female. They are the journey of Jack and Jill, of Gemini and Virgo, that become from the children, the DNA strands rise up to the father, red air from red Gemini air, and the child Virgo that rises up to high cardinal Capricorn black. This is the potentially perfected self which will evolve within the restrictions of the earth, a condition created by the Hierophant. From the standpoint of meditation and inner conversation, this is one of the most interesting cards of the deck. Generally, it represents authority, an employer, a teacher, or some other figure in control. It may also mean a government, a personal body, which hands down laws controlling the individual and the society. While the Emperor is the father as lawmaker, the Hierophant is an administrator. So just like Virgo and Gemini, they're just your little logic, commerce, and tricks, and Virgo is your little analytical administrator. And, you know, we're going up to Father Air, Heaven, and Mother Earth. The Hierophant is an administrator. He is an integral part of an organization, so this is still the Empire, Jupiter's home. In other words, the Emperor works for himself. He is a creative free agent, but the Hierophant works for a large organization whose rules he upholds strictly, although he is paradoxically unaware that this is the case. Well, that's the case of all humanity. They don't realize that they're holding up that the Emperor and the Emperor is naked. The personality which we encounter may be variously benevolent and just, thoughtful and kind. Well, Jupiter is considered benevolent. Or it may be high-handed, egocentric, and even sadistic. We must deal with the Hierophant in whatever garb of temperament he may appear. By doing so, we work out our own relationship to authority. How do we feel about control in our lives? Do we resent those who attempt to impose structure on us, feeling that it restricts our creative freedoms, or do we need the psychological support of external regulation? Okay, now the galactic center, the Milky Way, comes from the word Gaelic, Celtic, and this horseshoe has been through, we've been every mutable cross, we have another split, another angle, another axis through the Milky Way path as the equinoxes change. You must go and watch Lavette's video, The Middle Earth or something. I will put it in the links because that is such a good video. I watched it just before, but I'm unable to put it into the proper wording for you, but I feel it because I'm a feeler. But so this is, you know, we're coming up to this last gap, mutable, and this last equinox. So we're going to have on this eye the moon for the 14th, right on the eye where Notre Dame is, on the Seine, which means the Milky Way. So they're kind of taking over the Milky Way center when it's not there at all. We're not there yet. We're not there. We're not there yet. The Milky Way is between Aldebaran and here, and they are wanting, so this is when Aldebaran becomes the bottom of the solstice. They're trying to jump the guns here. So looking a bit more at Hercules, right, because this is going to take us in our dates. So, hero or god. He was the greatest of Greek heroes, a paragon of masculinity, the ancestor of royal clans who claimed to be Herculeid, and a champion of the Olympian order. Well, this is the Olympics from the 2012 till now, Greenwich ley line, which is going to be this new solstice line. 8 years, the journey of Venus, 5 petals. This is Hierophant the Fifth. Against Chthonic monsters in Rome and the modern West, he is known as Hercules, with whom the later Roman emperors, in particular Commodus and Maximum, often identified themselves. So again, Romulus and Remus, always the same. The Romans adopted the Greek version of his life and works essentially unchanged. Okay, Pindar. This is just the big penis. This is this is your St. John. This is the fake new king that they're giving you. Here's Lars. We will go and see his page as well. Okay, let's. I'm looking for what I'm looking for. Here is this article that came out as Mars goes into Pisces, the return of the Loch Ness Monster, and the journalist was Dandy Placido. Give me a break. Okay, so Lars's recent images showing us what Jupiter wants to put Saturn, Capricorn, and Jupiter putting himself fire on the outside, patriarchy at the top, and putting Saturn in this. They want to crucify us on this fixed cross in the middle. So Aquarius opposite Babylon, yellow fire, and Taurus opposite Scorpio, which is going to be the new solstice. But these guys are merging with Capricorn, and Taurus is merging with Aries, and Leo will be merging with the moon that they've put, you see, in the inside. They've put the masculine every side. So that is the empire. This is the Hierophant, you know, is holding up the wrong set of laws. And this is where you work out your laws. One of Lars's charts as well. The mutable water starts boiling today. Mars, who rules the feelings and emotions, enters Pisces. Mutable water today, 24th. This will affect people on the mutable cross most, and especially them born in Pisces. That's me. So don't let Mars carry you away in agony. At the same time, the moon enters Leo for communion and feminine and masculine, and they will merge in digestion. Our consciousness, Uranus is being cleansed in Aries, cardinal fire, and at the same time, the retrograde dance continues between Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. Venus and Mercury in retrograde makes this, the heart wobbles and tongues unstable. I like his spelling here. Okay. So here is the eclipse. I explain, meet Rahu, North Node in Gemini, and Ketu, South Node in Sagittarius. The snake is on the galactic, Gaelic, Celtic, Welsh beast of the Tempest, axis of Merlin. Eclipses happen when they touch Rahu, Ketu, head, tail of snake, aka the original Solstice Milky Way kid axis that now closes again in Pisces from Sagittarius, beginning of the snake split. And this is Rahu conjunct the new black moon, sun, moon conjunction on Merlin's wand. This is what we had on the 21st. We are passing through the galactic, Gaelic, Celtic, Prince of Wales, Charles de Gaulle, Leviathan, Moby Dick gateway, and the wheel will merge back from an open horseshoe to a perfect twin peak labyrinth. Well, all that was just to show you this video, which is from Jungle Surfer, Greg Hallett, the Hidden King. So this is exposing this King John, and I'll just show you a little bit.
Just astonishing, Greg.
Yeah. Well, you did say I looked like a royal when you first met me.
That isn't the penis.
I'd only been a royal then about...
If that isn't Pindar here, so, yeah, we don't want to go to Pindar. So Hercules fought with the, like Samson, like this is the 101 Samson gateway, this is the Solomon, fought with the lions. And next I caught a glimpse of powerful Hercules, his ghost I mean, the man himself delights in the grand feasts of the deathless gods on high. Around him cries of the dead rang out like cries of birds, scattering left and right in horror, as on he came like knights. So extraordinary strength, courage, this is all the Olympics. You see, and this is Hercules as a boy strangling the snake. Well, the snake is the female, she is the Scorpio. She is the Libra Scorpio merging, where the Scorpio becomes an eagle again. And here's the snake. And here is the hero they want to give you. This is just Hercules, Ophiuchus. It's the same person. It's the tip of the Milky Way to the tip of the Milky Way where the eclipse is. Do you get this now? This is the snake. So they're trying to kill the snake with this trap now, and we should be moving through into this new equinox, which is going to be Aquarius. So Aquarius becomes the west way, opposite the sun and the moon. Libra and Scorpio at the top, Taurus and Aries at the bottom, merging male, female, male, female, male, female, male, female. And they want to crucify us in the mutable cross, putting just Aquarius opposite Leo and putting just Scorpio opposite Taurus. And what they're really doing is merging the yellow and black, and they're using, this is yellow fire, Sagittarius, Jupiter, taking over the black Capricorn, and they're using the yellow of Mars, the true nature's laws, to kill her Earth. This is Earth. This is the middle. This is the middle of the wheel. This is Earth. This was the beginning of the Milky Way. The beginning of the Milky Way. They're killing her, Capella. This is the liberation, the Bastille Day. What do? They cap the Liberty Pole, the cap, the fez, the Moroccan cap, the fez that they put. This is the liberty. Let's have a look at this in Egypt. So, if we're looking in Egypt, here we've got Merlin, and we're going to have, we've got Venus right on Aldebaran, so the jaw, here's the flock, here's the sheepfold, so that eye of the beast is the sheepfold. This is the moving of the ages, and we're going to have the sun right on the pair of stars, which is Gemini and Sirius, and this is Kermit the Frog, Kennet, Sirius, the dog star, and Mercury is right here, Mercury. So this is the moving, and we're going to have the moon right on that eye of the beast, the sheepfold. This is the, this is why this Bastille Day could be really the fireworks. Okay, so we're coming back. We're going to finish. We're just going to get back to these 3 nights of darkness. So this 14th, very possible that we have this as the moon goes through Pisces, on the sheepfold here, as Venus is on Aldebaran, as Mercury has just begun to move forward again, as the Sun and Mercury is on Sirius. Okay, so now the other possible date. So this is going to be coming up to a new black moon. So on the 20th, we've got the next black moon starting. Oh, where's the moon? Right, so this is in Cancer, a new black moon. I think it might just, no, it will be on the 20th. So then we begin this energy of, so we've got the Charioteer, the Hierophants, and so a new cycle in Cancer. And then we've got the Lion Gates, 88HH. We've got Mercury, and here's the moon. So that we're then going to have on the 88, 89, we're going to have Moon and Mars together again. And let's see. Okay, the moon. And then, my goodness. Then we're going to have on the 8th, and the 19th, we're going to have a whole load of planets on Regulus. We'll have Mercury, the Moon, and the Sun on Regulus. So that will be the next black moon in Leo. And this, you see, this is the Lion, and we will have Mars just about to come into the V. We'll have Venus on Sirius. Okay, but then there's the big dates, which is the 9-9, where Mars will begin to go retro. We'll have the Moon on Aldebaran. We'll have Venus in Cancer. We'll have Mercury in exaltation at home in Virgo. And Mars will begin going backwards. There he goes, right up until the Great Conjunction. 8-8, we're going to have Venus on the wand of Merlin. We're going to have Mercury in Cancer, and we'll have the Sun on that left claw of Cancer, which is really taking, you know, this is talking about the original solstice. Which has now moved to Sirius, Midsummer Night's Dream here. So this, it is said that Padre Pio, so Pontius Pilate, PP, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, it's the 5, 10, 15th, the 16th, 7, 7, 7, 7, PP, 7, 7, the triangle, which makes 7, 7, 7, the retrograde of Mercury, 21, taking over the true solstice date, the 21st, wrote a private letter to the commissions of heralds back appointed by the Vatican. My son, I've been longing for this hour in which I again shall reveal to you the great love of my heart. Pray and make reparation to me. Admonish others to do the same, because the time is near at hand in which I shall visit my unfaithful people, because they have not heeded the time of my grace. Persevere in prayer so that your adversary shall have no dominion over you. Tell my people to be prepared at all times, for my judgment shall come upon them suddenly, and when least expected, and not one shall escape my hands. I shall find them all. I shall protect the just. Watch the sun and moon and the stars of the heavens. When they appear to be unduly disturbed and restless, know that the day is not far away. Stay united in prayer and watching until the angel of destruction has passed your doors. Pray that these days will be shortened. Keep your windows well covered. Do not look out. Light a blessed candle which will suffice for many days. Pray the rosary, read spiritual books, make acts of spiritual communion, also acts of love, which are so pleasing to us. Pray with outstretched arms or prostrate on the ground, in order that many souls may be saved. Do not go outside the house. Provide yourself with sufficient food. The powers of nature shall be moved, and a rain of fire shall make people tremble with fear. Have courage. I am in the midst of you. Okay, I've just got my dog who was a cat killer. I've now got my 2 kittens, Punk and Floyd, roaming freely. So Knack is being very good because he's got no muzzle on, as I put on him the first week. Okay, so this is very interesting, and it's all in there. Survival supplies. Well, we're never ready when we need it, are we? But I'm thinking that we're certainly going into these 6 months of the St. John's passage, St. John the Baptist, the Hierophant, and it's for you to be your own judge now. This is the judgment. This is the last 6 months. We've got the passing of. We've got the passing of. Just finishing on the site of my friend Lars. So this is his page, Alchemist Spiritual Chakra Astrology, and you must come and see his work because he makes very simplified charts that just basically explain everything. And this chart is the one to finish on. Because this is the trap we're being faced with. This is for you to be the judge, the Hierophant. This is the true Twin Peaks. We are leaving Pisces here. Jupiter rules these two gaps, and Mercury rules these two gaps. And we have to raise the DNA. We have to raise the DNA to come up, red, Gemini, black, Virgo, to come and merge again under the reign of Saturn. Under the reign of Saturn, so we have here red fire on the outside, black earth in the middle, and down here we have the sun and the moon, the yellow sun on the outside, fire, blue water, the moon on the inside. And then this is the new equinox. The Milky Way will close back to where it got split. So all those years ago, after the Garden of Eden, there was the first split of the Milky Way. And that was when these guys were on this side of the wheel. So we had Venus and Mars. So we had Scorpio and Libra. We're coming back to the original. So here we've got Scorpio and Libra, Mars and Taurus. So the Milky Way is coming back. It's closing back perfectly. And here we have feminine on the outside, Scorpio, Libra in the center, Taurus on the outside, feminine, and Aries in the middle. And this is the true merging, but we've got to get past this beast of the unconscious collective, this 6 months period, which leads us back into the kingdom. And this is their trap, as I showed you. So you just want to focus on this correct, or you can just get this proper picture here where he uses the white, the true medicine wheel colors. So we're leaving Pisces and we're coming back to this red and black. And there is the little twin DNA strands that we're merging through now to become back the mother and the father. Okay, darling, so we've covered, I just wanted to get that out. We're looking at these 3 days of night, and could it possibly be this time coming up 7/11, which is 9/11 on the ancient calendar. 7 is September. So, or could it be the 9/9 when Mars starts to go backwards? Or could it be the 8/8 when we're on the true Solstice, original Lion Gates Solstice that we will be coming back to, because the sun and the moon will become the not the bottom of the wheel, the right of the wheel. Yeah, here we go. So no, here the sun and the moon. Well, this is how the wheel began. Sorry, that's why I get confused. This is the beginning. We lost the wisdom here. So in we lost the wisdom here in Scorpio and Libra, but these guys are now going to become. This here is going to become the solstice, here the solstice, but this is all a ritual for the Milky Way. It's the closing of the Milky Way. This is very Mercury retrograde. With Mars in Pisces and Mercury retrograde, and I've just got so many readings at the moment, but I did just have to get that out. So come and see his page. He's also an astrologer, Lars, and he works like myself and Lavette. So, and he is incredibly technical. Virgo moon, Aries sun, rising Gemini. He's got all that logic and analytical, and he is very, very clever. Very, very clever. He's got some incredible charts here for you. Here showing the decans and that electric, that negative, positive, magnetic, electric pulse, and how it works every time. Just brilliant. Okay, so we're looking for these dates, and just get yourself some candles and some food. And another reminder for readings, I do not take bookings on my site. So I'm now, it's not quite as chock-a-block, but I've got readings coming in now up to the 3rd week of July. And every time you book, I just then send you an email and put you on the list. And your first readings should be natal, 80 euros, or Saturn returns, or Trinity return. And that's 3 hours and 1 hour for natal. But actually, natal is always 2 hours. And the Saturn or Trinity readings are always 2 hours each one finishing with tarot, coming with feedback. So there's a lot of work that goes into all of my readings, and I'm very grateful to you all for coming, and always to Lavette. Thank you, my darlings. Just watch out for these 3 nights coming. All my love. Bye.